My name's Steve Estey, and we recently resolved the case on the first day of trial against the city of San Diego for a record-setting $18.5 million for a little boy who was run over in a crosswalk by a city trash truck. And when we first got the case, the police report was adverse to us. So when we got into it, we realized, we found out that the trash truck driver was actually making an illegal T-turn near an elementary school while school was letting out. And he was also on his cell phone at the time of the impact. So once we discovered that, we were able to kind of establish liability in the case. And unfortunately, the little boy sustained severe injuries in the case. He lost his left leg. He had above the knee amputation, and he had severe internal injuries. And the internal injuries were so complex and severe and so numerous that we had difficulty at first. How we were trying to decide how we were going to present this to a jury, because there were so many. And so what we did, we went to John Alessi from North County Graphics, and we talked to him about the case. And John said, we told him about the injuries and gave him the films and the reports, and John said, no problem, I can help you. And the work that John did in this case was absolutely phenomenal. It really brought home the injuries, so we could go injury by injury, explaining to the jury, this is not just an amputation case, this is not just a severe abdominal injury case. It shows, and this is some of the work that John did, but it shows the bowel trauma that he had. It's basically the perineal part of the body filled up with blood because his hips were crushed. He was run over by the trash truck, and there was so much blood that built up there that his perineum burst like a water balloon, and he unfortunately now has to use a catheter to relieve himself. He's got a colostomy bag, and these are lifelong injuries. But there are so many other aspects to these injuries that I was unaware of when we first got into the case. And as we learned, we would get back in touch with John. Well, we learned this now, John. We need to add this, and John was able to put together these dynamite exhibits that really helped resolve the case. Because initially, the city said, well, we're not making any offers in this case because it's your client's fault. In fact, the trash truck did nothing wrong. And that's when we pointed out, after many months of investigation and discovery, that the trash truck driver was making an illegal turn and on the cell phone. And once they got their arms around that, then we had to talk about the damages. And so then they did offer us $4 million, and clearly it was not enough. They moved up to $12 million. And then after we went to a mediation, and the mediator saw the nature and extent of the injuries, including the graphics that John did, he made a proposal at $16,750,000, and we rejected that. And then on the first day of trial, they came up to the $18.5 million. And it was, unfortunately, Luke will never be the same, little boy will never be the same, but he's now going to be set for life with medical care and medical treatment, and his life will be as comfortable as possible under the circumstances. But all in all, without everyone's involvement in this case, including John from North County Graphics, we wouldn't have got the result that we did.